We trying to behave ourselves on the story? Well, y'all know what we thinking right now.
I'm ready for the night. I got a little extra energy. I don't know what might come out of my mouth tonight.
Hide your kids. Tell them go sit their bad asses down so we're grown folks in here talking.
TGIF.
Hey everybody, it's your girl Claudia Jordan. It's Wednesday and I'm back with a brand new episode of TGIF. And of course, me and the gang, we are spilling the tea and breaking down the biggest headlines in the news and on social media. So sit back, relax, get you something to drink and get into it. Okay, let me introduce my co-host. Please welcome brand strategist, Al Reynolds. What's up, Al Reynolds?
What's going on, Claudia?
How you doing? You good?
I'm pretty good. No complaints. How about yourself?
I'm good. I've been on a photo shoot all day and I had to just like run in here. I just barely made it. So.
Oh,
yeah.
cool. That's hot. And you gonna share? Who was it for?
My girl, Tony, she has a label, Black-owned label. Her name, it's called Viche Label. So I've been really shooting a lot of stuff for her and she's amazing. Great designs, silks, lots of silks, really pretty stuff. So
got it. Okay.
Shout out to my girl. And speaking of silk, because that's silk, what you got on, Q? You looking fancy tonight. Please welcome multimedia personality and talk show host, Funky Dineva. What's going on with you tonight? Extra pretty tonight.
You know, this is the afterglow of love, Claudia.
Oh, you're in love today.
Well, he said he met a man.
I met a boy.
Oh.
I met a boy last Sunday. But no, you want to hear something funny? And I'm going to tell all my business. I woke up today, Claudia, and when I walked in my living room, it was a half-empty bottle of vodka. And I don't know who was over here last.
On a Tuesday night, Q. On a Tuesday night.
Going up on a Tuesday.
Did you look through your phone to look through your text messages and be like, okay, who could it have been?
I did, and the text messages revealed it might have been two people over here.
Really?
Yeah, we were just watching TV, I think.
You don't know what you were doing.
I don't. But I'm here.
To live in your 30s again.
Wow.
One life to live, huh?
That's right.
Damn, that's wild. You got no idea who was over there. They could have done anything to you.
No, they could have did anything.
You know what? We're not going to get in trouble tonight, so I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to let you pretend to be classy based. How about that?
I'm real classy based, honey.
Okay.
TV and had drinks.
Okay. Are y'all sipping on anything tonight? Q, you probably shouldn't be.
I am not. I got a little lemonade and ice. Why black people always do this when they have ice in their cup? Like, why do you do this?
That's how you know it's gonna be good.
As if it make it taste better. Like, what is it?
I don't know.
It up.
It's definitely a cultural thing. Al, what you sipping on tonight? You sipping on anything?
I was just telling our producer Destiny that her talk topics got me so fired up over here that I had to break out some whiskey, some Irish whiskey. So I'm having the Fighting 69 tonight.
That's what Q was having last night, but he don't remember.
Don't.
See, we just can't help ourselves.
Okay, let's get into these hot topics. We have a whole lot to get into. All right, so we have an update on the racially motivated mass shooting that left 10 people dead. The family of the accused shooter, Peyton Gendron, is blaming his actions on the pandemic. Okay, we knew it was coming, right? Gendron's family said the teen most likely snapped due to his paranoia from being isolated during the pandemic. Now, they also claimed they had no clue that he was a white supremacist. Now, a cousin of Gendron's mom said, I have no idea how he could have gotten caught up in this. I blame it on COVID. Al, what are your thoughts on this obvious nonsense?
You know, when I first looked at this, right, I really thought that when they revealed the family to us, his parents and his family, I really thought I was going to see like someone like, I don't want to say this in a bad way, but like low class, like trailer park trash, right? Mm-hmm. But in fact, his parents both are engineers. He's from a very normal family, middle class, working, educated, college educated family. And so then that forced me to think, okay, what was really going on here? So I started to do my research, Claudia. And do you know that serial homicide killers usually are men, white, They're not loners. They're very socially involved. They're typically employed, come from well-to-do families. They are serial killers. They don't suffer from mental illness like a lot of us might think he snapped. They're trying to create the narrative that he snapped, which is in fact not the characteristics of a serial killer. He fits every box that makes a person a serial killer. And so the testimony from the parents, the aunts, the cousins all said that he's just a regular from a very fortunate and smart family. That to me, according to the Scientific America, is the ideal characteristics of a serial homicide killer. He to me should be classified as a domestic terrorist and should be penalized at the maximum penalty.
And they better not try that mental illness. Is premeditated murder. You thought about it. And also, you also killed a cat, stabbed it, and beheaded the cat. That came out today. And that's also a telltale sign of a future, a marker of a potentially future serial killer. Q, what do you think about this and the COVID? We're going to blame it on COVID.
So, his manifesto revealed that he self-admitted that he was radicalized via the internet. But Black people, I want to take a moment. And I don't want y'all to be triggered by the family's response. All things constant, family's going to stick up for family. Family's going to try to create a reason to support and protect family. Any one of you would do it for your children. So I'm not even upset that the family's trying to concoct some type of excuse because they can't even wrap their head around this. I think the most unfortunate thing about all of this, and a friend and I were talking about over dinner, can you imagine the chaos that ensued being in a grocery store and you hear shots and you don't know where to run? Most of us go to the store. We do not know where multiple exits are. And this thing has traumatized me so that now when I go places, I got to do a once around first to see where all the exits are. It's just in the event that something happens, if somebody else gets crazy because of COVID. And here's the thing. I had COVID 4 times, y'all. So y'all please pray that I don't snap if COVID is what's driving people crazy.
And the fact that he wrote the N-word on the barrel of the gun and also wrote, "Here's your reparations." And the fact that there's video of him seeing a white person in the grocery store and apologizing to this person. Mm-hmm. I mean, the insulting of our intelligence as a people is just unbelievable that they could just throw this stuff out there. But you know what? They wouldn't do this if it didn't work, because there'll be someone out there that will find a little sympathy for this child. I'm sorry, let me stop calling him a child too, because that's another mistake that they make. With Black kids, a 16-year-old is a Black man, and an 18-year-old white kid is a white teenager. And we got to watch how they frame this in the media. Like, this is a grown, you want to make 12-year-old Black kids men? You want to deem them as men and hold them responsible as men? We're not gonna, we're gonna keep the same energy. It's really sad. It's devastating, and our prayers go out to all the families in the entire city.
What's baffling to me, Claudia? I did not know that this invasionist theory was a thing. Like, replacement theory. Like, my eyes are wide open. I did not know that there's a faction of white people who honestly believe that people of color are taking over. The great zombie apocalypse is coming. I didn't even know this was a thing.
Somebody tweeted, they said that this paranoia from white people is coming from, their fear of becoming minorities. And of course, it was very tongue in cheek and sarcastic. They're saying, what, is there a problem? Do we treat minorities badly in America? And, they were being sarcastic, of course, that's why there's all this fear. That's actually why there's the ban on abortion. It has nothing to do with Black people. It's everything to do with white people and getting those numbers back up.
This is one time after I watched his deliberate, calculated, premeditated killing of all of those people of color. This is one time that I can say capital punishment has a place in America. I know I'm probably going to get killed for this, but I just feel like if you feel like you have the right and the ability to take 10 Black people's lives based specifically on their color, because you saved the white person in this journey of homicides and perpetual killing, why not should you not face capital punishment?
You should. And by firing squad, you want to bring it back in some of these southern states, bring it up over there. I think when you have all these witnesses and it's an obvious case, there's no way it could be like, oh, he was really innocent. I think there's a place for it then. It's awful, because white folks' paranoia of us, and it's not all, it's some, the ones that are racist. If anyone has a reason to be angry and paranoid, it should be Black people, the way we were kidnapped and brought to a whole new place and just all the things that have been done to us. Yet we still have grace. Y'all folks can't even deal with the thought of potentially not being the controlling party, the majority. And this is what you do. Really sad. In more news tied to this story, the assistant manager who was on duty that day claims that that 911 dispatcher hung up on her when she called to report the incident because the dispatcher said she was whispering. Now, the assistant manager said she was whispering because she didn't want the shooter to hear her on the phone because the shooter was nearby. The assistant manager claims she then calls her boyfriend and asks him to call 911. Can you believe this? Q, let's go to you first.
No, it's absolutely ridiculous. And we know that Mama Fire, her ass finna be standing in the child line. I hope she got her PPP money and still got some left because you're about to be good and fire. And I know that somewhere in your training that they prepared you for people whispering, dumbass. The fact that she's whispering should have been indicative of the fact that something was going on. So no, she should be good and fine. And now she's on leave. And they kill me with this leave crap. Okay. There's nothing to be investigated here. Your ass needs to be fired. Point blank, period.
Actually, I feel like that there should be some liability there. If there was murders committed after that call or, where it could have been kind of like, helped if the authorities would have got there earlier, you kind of have a part in this. Yeah, that's a very important job. Al, what do you think?
No, I agree with both of you. So Q, to your point, you're absolutely right. They're trained to calmly and effectively gather information. They're trained in what's called quiet speak, which means the person who's calling 911 could be under such distress that they can't speak loud or normally. That trained operator was supposed to keep her on the phone to gather more information, whether she could hear her or not. Now, what we do know from the news report is that her name is Letitia. And my question here is, was it maybe her dialect or her inflection that may have led that operator to not practice the procedures and protocol that she was supposed to as a trained dispatcher? On top of that, Claudia, you're 100% right. Do you guys remember we reported on that New Orleans Black female dispatcher, 911 dispatcher, that stopped taking the calls because she was mad at work? Well, that young lady was charged with malfeasance in office, and she was also charged with interfering with emergency communication. So I'm going to need to see more than just this person being put on leave. I'm going to see this person face the same penalties that we saw that Black young lady, that 911 dispatcher in New Orleans, face.
Does anyone know if this person was a person of color or not? I
I'm not sure. But I can remember as a preteen, my cousins and I all spending the night at my house, and we called 911 and hung up. And 5 minutes later, the police were knocking on the door.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it was like, that alone should have been indicative of the fact that somebody was in distress and something was going on. Nobody calls 911 and whispering because they're having a good day.
We have a comment from Rashonda Heron in the chat one, the soulmate. She said, yes, we are. I am a Philadelphia dispatcher and we are trained for this.
Yes.
I would think that more often than not, they may not be able to speak loudly. If domestic violence, you have someone's about to kill you. Oh my God, come help me. You're kidnapped. That seems like an obvious reason to think someone's in distress.
Yeah.
Shout out to the soulmate, though, because I do understand from doing my research that these are very, very tough jobs to have. And they go through a whole lot as a 911 dispatcher. A lot of them feel like they're responsible in making sure the person is safe. So whatever the young lady's name, the soulmate that added in the comments, much love and respect to you and all the hard work that you put in as a 911 dispatcher.
All right, on that note, let's take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk about Nick Cannon. Is he going to get his thing snipped or is he going to keep populating the world? We'll be back with more TGIF after this. Welcome back to TGIF. Shout out to the 2784 people in the chat. They're pretty active tonight. So we're going to read some of the top comments later on the show. All right, fellas, let's get into this. Nick Cannon is considering a vasectomy ahead of his 8th baby's arrival. Cannon told E! News Daily Pop, I already went and got my vasectomy consultation. He continued, I ain't looking to populate the earth completely, but I'm definitely looking forward to taking care and loving all the children that I currently have. Al, what do you think about this? You think he's making the right decision, or should he just keep going at this point? Why stop at 8?
I guess 8 children, 4 born within the span of the last 2 years with 5 different women. Nick Cannon I like him too. I keep saying this over and over. I like this man. He's super talented. You know, he's an incredible businessman when it comes to negotiating in the entertainment space, on producing stuff, on having ownership with these major networks. I just don't understand what this is about. It's the doublespeak that really is conflicting to me. Like, dude, you say that you want to spend more time with your kids, and one of the things that you regret the most is not spending time with your kid that you lost. How can you spend quality time with 8 kids from 5 different women in 5 different locations? It just doesn't make sense to me. Like, it's like, and then with the vasectomy, Claudia, is the vasectomy protection from pregnancy? Does that mean he's still going to raw dog all these women still? Yeah, men get vasectomies so they can raw dog. You know, they want to feel, they still want to, you know, feel that natural feeling, but you don't want to have the risk of getting someone pregnant. You can reverse it. Q, what do you think about Q, save us.
At what point does Nick Cannon catch all the backlash that a woman would catch if she had 8 kids from multiple men? Like, that woman would be considered the scum of the earth and called every name on the planet, and yet somehow or another Nick Cannon gets to walk around unscathed. And is it because he's a man? Is it because he has money? And the thing about it is, you know, in a sick, twisted way, it's as if Nick is getting off on all this attention surrounding his procreation. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's almost this vasectomy thing. It's almost like he's teasing us, like he's playing with us. None of this is any of our business, number one. And number two, Nick, to be quite honest, you a day late and $1 short. As far as I'm concerned, you got 8. You might as well go for 16 at this damn point. What is the damage is already done? What's a vasectomy gonna do at this point?
Yeah, I mean, on one hand, it's like people say, well, he can afford it, but he can't afford the time. Look, Nick Cannon is one of the busiest men in show business. He's always been one of the busiest men in show business, outside of producing shows, creating shows, hosting shows. The man's a busy guy. He's always going to be successful. Just having one kid or even just a partner is hard when you're busy. Never mind trying to visit all these children and make them all feel like they're important. And, you know, I think it's kind of sad that there's all these different homes and you're not going to really have that much time to spread it all out. I think a lot of our problems in our community are because a lot of us didn't have fathers around. We need a dad. I'm not one of those girls that go, I don't need a man. I don't need no dad. None of that. We need y'all. We need y'all. We need you. We want you. We love you. And we need y'all. So like the fact that there's 7 at a time are going to be without you, or 8 when you're busy, it's sad. Nick?
So let me ask you this. If we were just trying to be positive, because, you know, a lot of people say that we talk a lot of junk, right? If we were trying to be positive, what's the positive here? What's the positive of him having 5 different baby mamas and 8 different kids all staying in a different place? Like, what is there a positive at all? Claudia, Q, help me.
I mean, from an evolution perspective, he helped continue the human race to live on. I mean, that's the only positive I can find in this.
Or maybe he makes up for some of the death we have in our community with adding 8 lives. I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? And here's the unfortunate thing. Like, we have yet to see the total fallout from this. As these children get older, there's going to be sibling rivalry. There's going to be that dynamic. There's going to be the dynamic of all those baby mamas in one place, one feeling one type of way. The baby mama's gonna get to fighting down to the Chuck E. Cheese. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be the dynamic about why do you treat the two that you treat these better than you treat us. You spend more time with these. It's just a lot of problems that's going to come down the road with this situation. And Nick must have a whole lot of money. Because I don't know what he's paying, but let's just say he giving each one of them $10,000 a month or whatever. That's just a lot of money to be shelling out for 18 years.
And it's all good now, but like, say that train dries up. And yes, he does work a lot. And I'm sure, I don't know how much money he makes, but I'm sure he makes a lot of money. But eventually everything slows down for pretty much all of us. You know what I mean? And there's going to be a time where it's going to be a little bit more uncomfortable to take care of that many people, you know? I don't know. It's, I'm sure it feeds his ego and it probably feels really good. I think he loves babies. I think he loves pregnancy. I think he loves it. But I just want, as long as, I don't know, they got to all be in one big compound.
This just isn't healthy. And you know what? I want to know, where's the commentary from the Steve Harveys of the world? And not that it's Steve Harvey's job to put Nick Cannon in his place, but Steve tends to have an opinion about every damn thing else when it comes to relationship and marriage.
That's right.
Where is the feedback from the men in Hollywood about what Nick is doing? Like, somebody needs to get into his head and really talk to him.
We rarely see that.
Right.
But we do see a lot of these men get online and make videos and commentate on women and what they do. We have a few comments. Gigi Cake says he's creating fatherless homes. Who cares if he has money? Shannon Monique says it's impossible. He throw that money of those kids and he's going to be on to the next future baby mama. And Danny Girl says the only positive is going to be their test results if he don't stop.
Ooh.
You want to know something that I saw in social media, and not that I'm putting any stock into it, but somebody wrote on social media that Nick Cannon suffers with whatever health illnesses that he suffers with, and that he's creating all these kids so he can have a viable organ donor.
I heard that.
I just saw that on social media. I mean,
I saw something about
it makes you go,
Well, he has lupus. They said for bone marrow.
Those kids' organs will not be developed anytime soon. No.
It's not. It's not
later.
It's lupus. And it's for bone marrow transplants. That's what they're saying. Because that's something, I don't know how young you can be, but
you gotta have a grown bone marrow in order to be a contributor to him. No, we're not gonna give him that pass now. I can't sit here and let y'all do that. Let's go to the next.
I'm just telling you what the people on social media said. Okay.
Right.
All right, well, let's get into this lady. A white mother from Virginia is suing a school district over critical race theory because she claims her biracial son blames everything that he thinks is unfair on racism. Now, the mother claims that her son has never had racial issues before his school introduced him to critical race theory. She said he now identifies as a Black man. And if she asks him to clean the room or if things don't go his way, he blames it on racism. Al, what do you think about this story?
So, Claudia, I have family that are in education in Charlottesville. This happened in Charlottesville, Virginia, in Albemarle County. You guys know I've shared on this show before that my sister is a part of, what we considered administration there. So the deal is no school district in the state of Virginia teaches critical race theory. Okay, that's number one. Number two, this is a political campaign from the right-wing conservatives, what they consider radical conservatives. This parent who just happened to have a biracial child joined a parent group that filed a civil suit against the school system. All right. Now, the Supreme Court of Virginia threw this out, said there's no evidence, it's unfounded, that everything about this is wrong because there is no curriculum or teachers are teaching critical race theory in the state of Virginia. Now, what's so interesting is that they chose this white woman who has a biracial child to be the face in the news. All right. Now, what is super more interesting about this is that they do teach what's called CRT, which she obviously doesn't even know what CRT stand for in the school system. It's not critical race theory. It's critical responsive teaching, which teaches you how to teach to all cultures. That's what this school system teaches. That's what this school system stands by. That's why they say they're not changing it. And she is ushering in a false narrative that's tricking those right wings to jump on through what you guys have described on the show as fear tactics. And look how it's worked, because here we are covering it today.
You know, it's sad because, to piggyback off of what Al was saying, critical race theory is only taught in law school. It's only taught in law school. So this whole hoopla that people have been, you know, up in arms about when it comes to critical race theory is just fear mongering at its best.
That's right.
It's another one of those vestiges. It's another one of those vestiges of the Trump era, where you throw out these buzzwords or these buzz phrases to get people all riled up, and they get in a panic and get in hysteria. And I mean, we've got it going on in Florida right now with the don't say gay, trans this, trans that, all of that. So, you know, this is unfortunate, but it's those uber conservatives doing what they do.
So just in general, Q, between you and I, now let's just talk about it. Now, if I was a parent, I don't care if I had a baby from a Caucasian woman, a Spanish woman, or whatever. If I tell you to clean your room and you say to me, that's racist, I'm going to yank a knot in you and tell you, okay, it's going to be racist tonight, but you're going to clean that room. Because that was one of her arguments, is when she tells her son to clean the room, he says it's racist. I wish you would live under my roof, in my room, in my house, where I provide everything for you. And when I tell you to clean your room, you tell me it's racist.
Sean, could you imagine? On that show, y'all, we're going to go to commercial. More TGIF after this.
Welcome back to TGIF. Excuse my technical issues. My desktop computer just totally disconnected from the internet. So now Mama, trusty laptop, and hopefully I have no issues. So my apologies for that. We're gonna get through this show. Okay, let's get back to the stories. Let's get into this. Amber Ali called off her multi-million-dollar lawsuit against Joseline Hernandez and her fiance Ballistic and the Zeus Network. Now, Amber posted the following statement on her Instagram story: "Thank you to all my fans that have my back. And now, after deep thought, I'm no longer seeking legal action against the Zeus Network, Joseline, or Ballistic for what took place at the reunion. I'm putting this entire ordeal behind me. Thank you for all the support and understanding. I am in great health and great spirits. I'm moving on with my life." What are your thoughts on Amber Ali changing her tune, changing her mind, and how big do you think that check was, Al Reynolds?
I don't know, but it must have been pretty big. This is confusing because it was more than just her that joined that complaint. So this is going to be interesting to watch unfold. Funky, what you got over there?
Let me tell you something. It was more than deep thought. It was deep pockets, okay? And the fact, you know, I would just be curious to know what the settlement was, because right. Amber Ali, the fact that somebody was willing to settle with you suggests that you had something, mama. So I hope that you got your just due, because you definitely had something. And this reeks again. I'm tired of people playing on our intelligence. All right. Ain't nobody stupid. We see this for exactly what it is. Amber Ali had way too much smoke for Joseline. She had way too much mess to talk about Joseline and Zeus for her to just all of a sudden found Jesus or whatever and had deep thought. She was paid off, point blank, period.
How much would you guys take to call off a lawsuit like this when you knew it was like, I know I could pretty much win this? What would the amount be for you guys? If you were her.
See, the thing about it is, I hate everything.
You'll do it for $250.
I hate everything I'm about to say, but when you have people who don't have much and are seemingly not that educated, you know what I'm saying? You can offer them $75,000 and it feel like a lot. You know what I'm saying? I refuse to believe that they paid her multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars. I refuse to believe that. She probably got in the ballpark of 100.
Yeah. Okay. Al, how much would it take for you?
You know, I'm not that cheap now. From what I understand, just from being in these spaces, 5 million is the floor. 5 million is the floor that you go after, and then you hope you land somewhere in between.
5 million.
I mean, you know, she's a young lady. The humiliation, the mental anguish, the physical assault. It was television. It's going to be online forever. Her kids will see it. She could say she had PTSD whenever a camera comes on, whenever a woman comes around. I'm just making this up, obviously, right? But these are the arguments that you can make in the case of the court. And the court has to continue to take that into account, right? She can also say that she is an entertainer and that anytime she's around a camera, she can't do it anymore. That means she can't work anymore. She needs to be compensated for her future earnings. I'm making this up, but I'm just helping you understand the arguments that different lawyers make when they are trying to win a case. So yeah, 5 million would be the floor for me.
I know it's kind of hard to get those kind of numbers. Yeah, I don't know if she got that much because I think the courts are.
They gave that girl 100,000 and bought her a Toyota Camry.
I'm thinking it's about between 75 to 100.
Yeah.
I was saying 5 million for me. I didn't say for her.
Listen,
I didn't say for her.
They bought her a Mercedes-Benz C230, the baby mama Benz. It gave her ass $100,000 and a $500 gift card to Red Lobster. Okay.
And then she still
paid her rent for a year.
Okay, and some bundles.
And you're still gonna pay those lawyers between 33 to 40% now.
Gave her a Fashion Nova endorsement, like a credit over at Fashion Nova.
And offered her the opportunity to come back next season.
That's right.
Y'all, she walked away with a Toyota Camry.
Oh, you know what? If anyone knows her, please let us. We need to find out. I really want to know how much she got. Okay, soulmates, since you guys are always sending us crazy videos and stories that are trending on social media, we decided to turn it into a segment called hashtag What Will You Do? All right, fellas, let me get your thoughts on this post from Neighborhood Talk. Okay, the post says, I took my friend grocery shopping for her crib and I paid with my EBT card. She gonna say, you gonna pull that out in front of people? You crazy. Now, I still got her groceries after that, but she's definitely dropped. What are your thoughts on this story? And what would you do if your friend calls you out in public? Soulmates, drop your answers in the chat. Al, what would you do?
Okay, production, can you please put the quote back up? Because Claudia didn't read it right. Please, thank you, go. So she said, you fitna pull that out in front of people. Now, I don't know, because she said you fitna, I'm going to say that I need to know the validity of this story, because with gas prices at $6 a gallon, a half a gallon of milk is $4. I went to expensive Harris Teeter the other day. I got 10 items, it's $150. I just need to know who would be complaining about how any grocery bill got paid. I don't think nobody's afraid of an EBT card coming out to pay for their groceries during this economic crisis that we're in. And especially not nobody who's saying, put that back up, production, fitna what? You fitna pull that out in front of people.
So what would
I don't know.
What would you do is the question.
I would take it. That I just told you, it's a $4 for a half a gallon of milk, $6 gas. Ain't nobody complaining about no EBT card paying for groceries. Heck no. So
you're doubting the story is real.
That story can't be real. You guys shop for groceries? I'm telling you, it's expensive out here. Even the discount groceries are expensive. Ain't nobody crying about how them groceries getting paid. Period.
Well, for the sake of entertainment and TGIF, let's act like the story is real. Okay, because I think it is. Q, what would you do?
I'd have left her ass at that register with them damn groceries. I'd have left her stranded at that register, because let me tell you something. The fact that your friend offered to take you grocery shopping is indicative of the fact that you needed it, right? Like if I came to Dallas right now, Claudia, and you were like, I just moved in my new place, my first thought would not be, let me take you to the grocery store. You know what I'm saying? So when you offer to take a friend to the grocery store, it's because you know that they probably need it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And like my grandma said, you being choicey. You can't be choicey when somebody is buying you groceries.
I would have left the person probably at the grocery store or took him to the side and said, I'm helping you because you need it and you don't have it. If you don't like that it's on an EBT card, maybe you need to get your money in order so you don't need your friend to bail you out. I'm feeding you. Don't complain about how you're getting it. It's getting paid for. But I do see a lot of people that are struggling, not a lot. Well, some people that are struggling have the nerve to actually, be a little bit bougie about it too.
Really?
And here's the funny thing about EBT. These days, no shade. When you pull it out and pay, the person behind you, unless they all up in your mix, they really can't tell how you're paying, because it's just like debit. You put your PIN in, and folks ain't paying you no attention.
I really don't understand what's the embarrassment behind the EBT. When you've been employed for a long time and you lose your job and you go on public assistance, I've done it. You get an EBT card. You're unemployed. You're drawing unemployment. You get the ability to have an EBT card.
Let's get into some of the comments from the soulmates. Okay. Keita G says, I bet it's real. People put a stigma on food stamps. That's true. And a lot of times it's the people that need it. Kim White says, that's right. Don't be choicey. Renita 2000 says, no complaints on EBT card. Quit perpetrating.
Exactly.
And Althema Goodson says, struggling with audacity.
I like that.
That was a good one.
I like that.
Okay. All right, let's get into the next one. Okay. An Indian couple are suing their only son and wife for failing to give them grandchildren after 6 years of marriage. Now, the couple is seeking 50 million Indian rupees in damages, which equates to about 643,000 American dollars. The parents claim they spent about 20 million rupees raising their son and that he owes it to them to give them a grandchild. They want their son to give them a grandchild in the next year or compensate them. Now, have you ever heard anything like this before? And what would you do if your parents were suing you for not producing any grandkids? Q, let's start with you.
You know what? I'm going to reserve a lot of my judgment because I don't understand the culture and I don't understand what the significance of having a grandchild may mean in their culture. But this is big nerve. You know what I'm saying? For you to put conditions on somebody else's life as if they owe that to you, it's just big nerve to me.
And suing them for part of the money that they spent to raise him. Like, you chose to have that child.
And the funny thing about it is the money still doesn't give you what you want. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm the type of petty that I actually would give them the money just to piss them off. And not give them the grandchild, just to be paid.
So let me help the two of you out. So in the country of India, this is a case of familial obligation. Okay. So in that culture, it's a legal duty for you to carry on your family line. It's also can be. Let me make sure I get this right. It can be your legal duty to carry on the family line and to also care for the elderly parents. Now, this is your legal duty. Parents in India can claim a monthly allowance from their adult children under the federal laws there to seek to protect the parents and the senior citizens. It's law that's written in India. So in this case, this father and mother has a case.
What would you do though? Because the segment is what would you do?
I would support it. I'm single. I don't have.
I'm saying if your parents were suing you
I don't think
Now,
my parents would never have to sue me because I would take care of them, period. Like, I feel like if you took care of me for 18 and for my parents took care of me, shit, until they pass, I'm going to take care of them. They don't have to sue me for that. They will always have a place to stay, a safe place. They will always be fed. They will always be taken care of. They will always be clothed. And if I could, I would give them a grandchild too.
Al, why can't you just play along?
I know it's a game called What Would You Do? We want to know what you
We're playing a
If
game.
you were in this situation, what would you do?
I would take care of my parents. What the heck? I'm so confused.
That's not the choice. Okay.
What's
we
the
wanna-
choice?
Claudia.
What I would do is I would try to have a kid if I wanted to. And if I didn't, I'm not paying my parents for this unless we sign an agreement before the fact. All right. That was a very smooth addition of What Would You Do? Okay, we'll be right back after this break. Al, we're gonna explain the game to you when we.
I know you got to explain the game to me. Sorry.
It's our second week doing it. We had a graphic and everything. All right, we'll be back. Welcome back to TGIF. All right, guys, let's get into this. Recently, comedian Michael Blackson and his fiancee Rada talked about their unconventional relationship. Rada revealed that she allows Blackson to have one side chick a month and explained why it works for them. Let's take a look, and this clip is courtesy of the Shade Room.
I've been in a long-term relationship, and I've said this before. You having sex with the same individual for years, it gets boring. And I just wanted some excitement in the bedroom.
Al, let's go to you first. What are your thoughts on their relationship and the leeway that Rada gives Michael?
Seems pretty incredible to me. She says that she don't mind having 2 or 3 different women join them in the bedroom. If it works for them, then it works for them. I'm going to reserve the comments from Q. Q, what'd you think?
She don't want that. She don't want that. No woman want that. That's just what she's telling herself in order to make herself not feel stupid when he run around and cheat on her. That's all. That's just her getting ahead of it. Oh, I'm down with it. Nobody want that.
So they started off with having threesomes, and she said that she suggested it. She likes the threesomes when she's involved, but then the problem came around when he went on the road and he would do it and then take them out and give them kind of good treatment.
Mm-hmm.
She
don't like that.
Yeah, and that's check out couples treat out Mondays, and we talk about it, and it comes to a head.
Yeah, she don't like it. No woman likes it. You know what I'm saying? But it's that whole, just like these men convince a lot of these women to get in these threesome situations and they don't want to do it, but they don't want to lose the dude. You know, she likes the benefits. Hey, must be the money. So let me go ahead and psych myself out and say, I give him hall passes or I give him permission. That way I don't look stupid in public and that way I don't feel stupid. But that lady don't want that. Nobody wants to share their mate with everybody across the US, especially that perpetually.
I get wanting to have excitement in the bedroom. I get wanting to, have a little fun if you want to bring someone in. I haven't done it, but I get that people may want to do that. I think it's definitely difficult to switch. You know what I mean? Once you start with that, I think it's hard to kind of come back from that. How do you go into a conventional relationship after you've had all this freedom? Yeah. And I'm like, Michael Blackson, if you can't stick to those rules and you have such a lenient girl, wow. Yeah. Well, I hope they make it. I think she's a sweet girl, and I hope she gets what she wants. All right, moving on. A Delaware State University's women's lacrosse team was pulled over by law enforcement on a highway in Georgia. Now, the traffic stop quickly turned into an all-out drug search, and the players on the bus claimed they were searched because they were a Black majority team. Now, but the officers claimed it was a standard highway search where they were looking for large amounts of money and trafficked children and drugs. Do you think the police were doing their job, or was it a case of racial profiling? Al, what do you think about this story?
I say let's take a commercial. Yeah,
okay.
Let's go to commercial and you'll get my thoughts when you get back.
We'll continue. We'll be back in 2 minutes, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to TGIF. Okay, before we went to break, I teased the story a little bit. Actually, the Delaware State University lacrosse team, they got pulled over by Georgia law enforcement on the highway. They searched the bus for a drug search, and they claimed they were just, just doing their job, but the team feels like they were racially profiled. What are your thoughts on this? They were talking about looking for, large amounts of money and trafficked kids. Al, what do you think?
Just so everyone know, Delaware State University, I'm sure a lot of the soulmates know, is a HBCU. So it was all African-American females on that bus. My thing is, what I think, when will racism end? Like, this is enough is enough. And to be honest with you, this is why I donated to the Black Lives Matter Foundation. And that's why they got $19 million donated to them so that they could funnel funds to places and attorneys and people in jurisdictions that when stuff like this happens, the price is paid for a thorough investigation and lawyers can bring legal ramifications for this type of abuse of authority. That's what I think about this. The sad part is the young lady, Sanaya Craft, was on that bus. She's a part of that team. And if you don't know who Sanaya Craft is, you guys need to look her up. She is the family member of that young man, Elijah McClain, who in Colorado was walking home with his iced tea, and the cops got a call saying that there was an unfamiliar person in the neighborhood, and they attacked that young man, applied pressure on him. He choked and vomited, and later they administered, ketamine to him, and he died of cardiac arrest. She was traumatized because she felt that her and her team could go through those same types of illegal measures. I think it's disgusting. That's what I think.
Al, I have another question for you. What the hell are you drinking tonight?
Al, you better stop saying out loud that you gave Black Lives Matter your damn money after spending up all them damn people money, misallocating them damn funds. And anyway, here's what I don't understand about this thing, right? They say that the police officer pulled the bus over for failure to maintain lane. Now, when I went to Florida State University and got my degree in economics, some people ain't teach me nothing about policing. But it would seem to me that the police's business would have been with the bus driver. Sir, you failed to maintain lane. Let us give you a ticket and go on about your business. How it went from failure to maintain lane to rummaging through those girls' bags is beyond me. And then here is what was even more infuriating for me. They have a Black police chief. And the Black police chief was the one who was given the responsibility of doing the press conference and saying, my officers did not do anything wrong. I stand by my officers. They were only doing their job, X, Y, Z. And it was just very cringeworthy. They had no business going through those girls' stuff, the way they were talking to them. If you guys have anything, we're going to find it. They just, they just already rendered those girls guilty. Going through the girls' prescription. What is this? It's like y'all were looking for a reason to get these girls caught up. Go
and remember, they opened one of the young ladies' gift that her aunt gave her from when she met her at the game. Opened the gift up. It was a gift. She opened it up. They opened it up. That doesn't even make sense to me.
Obviously, they saw a bus full of Black women and they wanted to have a little fun. They were hoping to have, catch something in the bag, like with Brittany Griner over in Russia. That's what they were hoping probably to find and to harass those girls like that. Again, Q, great point. That should be with the driver. If the driver didn't maintain the proper, violated some kind of, laws, then deal with him. There's nothing to do with the students. You just want to harass these women and it's awful. But when's it going to end? Probably never. It's getting worse.
Yep.
Oh, Texas is the new Florida, I swear. Texas man claims he was robbed and kidnapped at gunpoint by his then roommates, who he claims forced him to transfer $6,000 via Cash App, tied him up with power cords, and allegedly stuffed him in the trunk of his own car. 31-year-old Justin Iwuji asked his then roommate Joshua Deloach to move out of his home. And shortly after, Justin claimed that Deloach allegedly pulled a gun on him and also forced him to open his safe, stealing personal items. Now, Justin was able to escape from the car and find help. His ex-roommate is on the run and facing charges for kidnapping and aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Al, what are your thoughts on this?
Okay, everybody, I've been drinking, but there is clearly more to this story. First of all, these two guys are handsome. They're, quote, roommates. In Texas, isn't Texas cheap? I really feel like there's more to this story. Like seriously, roommates. Like your roommate doesn't know that you have a camera, video, and everything that goes on in the apartment. Why is that happening? $6,000 in Cash App. You have a safe in your apartment. You have a Range Rover. You have high value belongings, allegedly watches and necklace. You have a firearm and a wallet. He takes all that. Something about football player, Range Rover, two handsome men, rich roommate, kidnap. Something ain't right here.
Q, we only have a minute left. You want to add to this at all?
The gays kill me. Okay. That is your roommate. That was your man. That was your lover and your secretary working every day of the week. Okay. And that's all I got. trying to do us. I don't think so. I see this for what it was. It was a bad breakup. It was a lover's quarrel. That man got tired of your SHIT and wanted you out of your house. And that boy said, I'm staying. I'm staying. And you gonna love me.
Oh, go ahead, Al, sing. We got 30 seconds. I would love to hear Al sing. No,
oh my God. I told you this is all Destiny's fault. Everybody, this is Destiny. Destiny is our producer. It's her fault. All these crazy topics had me drinking.
Okay. Well, heard that bus go by. Sorry, Destiny, for throwing you on the bus. All right. I want to thank my co-hosts, Al Drunk Reynolds and Funky Dineva, for joining me tonight for a great show. Thank you for watching us on YouTube, and make sure you catch the repeat. Stick around. Turned Out with T.S. Madison is up next. We'll see you Soulmates Friday. Bye, y'all.
Have a good night, Soulmate.
Bye, Soulmate.